Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my full review of the new Chanel Ultra Le Teint Velvet in the color B30. And so if you watched my Bloomingdale's The Makeup Date video, I had purchased this during that Bloomingdale's event, and so I hadn't tried it yet. I've been using this for about 2 weeks, and I know that that's not very long, but the reason I'm doing this video is because it's long enough for me to tell you whether I like the foundation or not. You get 1 fluid ounce per bottle, and this retails for $50. Now the top of this is completely matte, and then you have the Chanel logo at the top. And then this is a plastic squeezy bottle. And then on the back, you just have some warning signs, and it says shake well before use. You definitely have to shake this product before you use it. And it says it's made in France, and it has a broad spectrum SPF of 15. Sunscreen, never rely on the sunscreen in your makeup. It helps, but you should always apply your own sunscreen, especially if you're somebody who is outside. Now, in my opinion, if you're somebody who is indoors most of the day, I really don't see the point in having to apply like regular, like your own layer of sunscreen, because you're not really getting that much exposure to the sun. Anyways, I digress. I absolutely love this foundation. Reason being, so you guys know, let's back it up. You guys know that I am obsessed with the Chanel Ultra Le Teint foundation because I have oily skin, and this is like the only foundation on the market that actually holds my oils back, keeps them sealed, keeps them away, keeps me looking fresh all day, right? Unfortunately, this foundation is $60, which hurts every time I have to run my card to buy one of these. For 60 bucks, you also get 1 fluid ounce. So they're both 1 fluid ounce. Obviously, this is a glass bottle. This is a plastic bottle. Let's talk about this foundation. This is full coverage. This is not. This is a velvet matte finish, which is exactly the type of finish you are gonna get. It is not completely matte, so those of you with dry skin are still able to use this product. Just make sure you kind of use, you know, a good moisturizer, and you'd be fine. Because this, although it's like a velvet matte, it's much softer than just a flat matte. And so do keep that in mind. So those of you who have like dry skin, I don't think you would have a problem using this product. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you do have dry skin and you've used this foundation and you hate it, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. Because to me, I can totally see how someone with dry skin can totally pull this off. Now, price tag, $50. It's still expensive. It's still expensive. Let me just show you. We're gonna talk about packaging first before we move on to like performance and stuff. So when you twist the cap off, you have just like the cap on the inside has like this little needle in the inside. I'm gonna wait. No, hold on. Let me. My camera. It has like a little needle on the inside that goes inside the squeezy tube portion of this foundation, so that it is completely sealed and air does not get into the foundation. So basically the way this works, you are supposed to tip it over and squeeze it onto your sponge or brush. I only apply this with a sponge, and then you're supposed to use it. My only issue with the packaging, I mean, I like that it's plastic. I like that it's $10 cheaper than this one, because this one is glass, and in my opinion, a glass is a lot more luxurious than plastic. That's all I'm saying. I like that it's, you know, plastic. It's a lot cheaper, but the issue I have with the packaging is that when I squeeze it onto my beauty blender and I set it down, it starts to bubble. So when not that it bubbles over, but the foundation, I guess, doesn't fall all the way down, and then when I go to pick the bottle back up, it like slightly splatters, you know? So the way I've solved that problem is that once I pour it onto my beauty blender and I set it down, before I pick it up, I squeeze the sides of the bottle, which will suck all the foundation down, and that has done the trick. But you have to remember to do that. I'm okay with it. I'm already used to it. Like I said, I've been using this foundation for 2 weeks. I absolutely love it. Let's talk now about performance. Now, this foundation has had a lot of controversy since it came out because people were obsessed with the original version of this, which I never tried, so this doesn't even apply to me. It was called Perfection Lumiere Velvet, and people said that it was just a lot more moisturizing. This is definitely not the same formula, but Chanel says on the website, like, it is the same formula. This is not a new foundation. They just changed the name. I guess all of their foundations are not gonna have the ultra latent on it. If my camera will focus. Every time my camera doesn't focus, I think of Wayne Goss and his camera issues. But they're just reformulating and just repackaging things. But this is not a foundation, supposedly, that they didn't reformulate. However, people got real specific because, like, people were fanatics for the Perfection Lumiere Velvet because it was definitely for people with like dry to combination skin. I, as an oily skin girl, probably would not have ever been able to wear Perfection Lumiere Velvet because it just sounded and looked just way too like moisturizing. I kind of saw videos of people like comparing this formula to the Perfection Lumiere formula and showing them like hand swatch, and you could definitely see that one was a lot more luminous than the other. And so how I found out, like I didn't watch, let's backtrack. I didn't watch any of those videos before I had heard about this. I had heard about this before it actually launched here in Florida because my rep at the Chanel boutique, she is obsessed with this foundation as well, and she knows I'm obsessed with it too. And when they heard that this was coming out, they already had tried it, played around with it. She's like, if you're looking for something less full coverage, more skin-like, more casual than this, you're gonna definitely like the Chanel Ultra Latent Velvet. That is a mouthful. You're really gonna like it. So when it comes in, I'll give you a sample, try it out, and if you like it, come back and purchase the bottle. So I did. I got a sample. I started to try it out, and I liked it. It was nice. Coverage wise, definitely way less coverage. This has way less coverage than this one because this is full coverage. This is like light to medium coverage. You can build this up, but I don't. I like the way that it looks just one layer. I feel like when I build it up, it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. I might as well just use this instead of having to use twice the amount of product here. Now, I only use a beauty blender to apply this. I don't use a brush. In my experience, when I've used a brush, I find streakage, and I don't like that. The way that my beauty blender blends this out is 10 times better than any brush I could use. Let's talk about people with acne scars or just scars on their face, period. I have scars on my face. I suffer from milia. Guys, if you've been watching my previous videos, I'm sorry that I have been pronouncing that wrong the entire time. I was pronouncing it Milia, and that's not, it's Milia. Okay, great. Welcome to my life. But that's not the point. I started to use retinol in my skin routine, which I haven't done a video on that because I'm not done forming my opinion on that. and my skin has purged, and I am a picker. I cannot see a pimple and not get it out of my skin and extract it. I know it's really bad. I don't recommend that anybody does it, but that is the reality of my life. I have problems. Anyways, so I have had a couple of, I've had scarring for the past like 2 months. And so with this foundation, it covers everything. However, once my skin, just like started to clear up, my milia just has really significantly improved. And, with the retinol, of course, it's really helped me with the scarring. I started to use this. And this definitely doesn't have as much coverage. I'm wearing this right now on my skin. I've been wearing this for about 6 or 7 hours. And I kind of just want you to, I'm going to do an up close here. And I've got a couple of scars right here, and right here, and right here, and right here. So it does cover, any imperfection that you may have, but it's not going to really like cover it all. Like you can still see it. I like this foundation because, I'm sorry that I'm getting really close, but I really want you guys to see like what this looks like on the skin. So you can still see my skin, if that makes sense. So you can still see that I have a little bit of texture. You can just still see my actual skin. It's not like super full coverage. Coverage is more, it's natural. It has this beautiful like velvet finish. And you guys know that I have oily skin. And so I just want you to notice, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but after 6 hours, I have a little bit of, oil, just a little bit, just coming through here and coming through a little bit on my nose. But it does a good job at helping with my oils. So I do have to give it that. I mean, wow, I was impressed, because it says blurring smooth effect foundation, velvet matte finish. It says it on the bottle, so if you guys can read that there. A lot of foundations out in the market make certain claims, but you guys know that it's been I have never found a foundation that does anything for my oils. And my Bare Minerals is like my holy grail foundation. My original foundation, the original formula of Bare Minerals. Oh God, I love it. It's my favorite, but it doesn't do anything for my oils. So, there's a give and take. However, this is really good, guys. I really recommend it. If you're looking for something that is not like, if you're over the whole full coverage thing, you want something a little bit more natural, but with a little bit of coverage, a nice velvet matte finish, not something too flat, something that's just gonna make your skin look healthy. Like that's the best way that I can describe this foundation. So it's like a no makeup look, which is what I love about my Bare Minerals foundation. My Bare Minerals foundation, it's just when I apply it, it literally melts into my skin and it just looks like it's my own. It doesn't look like I have 3 pounds of makeup on or anything like that. So if you're looking if you love this foundation and you're looking for a much softer coverage, something nice, this is, I would say, light to medium, but pushing a little bit towards like the medium. Like it's right in the center. I wouldn't say this is light. It's definitely not light coverage, okay? It's like light medium, right in the middle, because I feel like medium is almost saying like it has a lot of coverage, but no, light medium. Now you can definitely make this light if you want to. You just gotta use a little bit of product. So the first time I used this, I only put like 2 drops on my like beauty blender, and I put it on one side of my skin, and I kind of did the same thing, and it was definitely like coverage, but it was like, guys, like 2 drops, okay? But I typically use like 3 drops on each half of my face. So 3 drops, total of 6 drops. And it does a job. I just love the way this foundation performs. It lasts, as you can see. It doesn't separate around my nose, which you guys know is a problem for me, especially because I have oily skin. So I have no separation. It doesn't sink into my smile lines here or the wrinkle I have in between my eyes, which you can't see on camera because it's not an actual wrinkle. Like the wrinkle is not set there, but I guess I do this a lot with my eyebrows. And so I find that my foundation sometimes when I get oily, it starts to accumulate. It accumulates there for some reason, but this foundation doesn't do that. So that's great. Like I have no creasing whatsoever. It does really well in the humidity, really well in the heat. I really like it. I've worn this foundation, the most hours I've worn it has been 18 hours. I've had this foundation literally on my skin 18 hours and it looks wonderful. It looks great. It doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't fall off. What I use to set this foundation is the Chanel, I'm sorry, I have to look at my computer here because I know that I wrote it down, but it's such a long name. It is the Chanel Le Beiges Healthy Glow Sheer Powder. I use number 20 and I use it to set it. This is color B30. The only con about this foundation is that the shade range is really limited. I have no idea why, as this has a really wide range of colors. This doesn't. And in my Ultra Latent foundation, I'm BD31. And in this, I'm B30. I don't know. This oxidizes a little bit. This one doesn't. This doesn't oxidize at all. You're not gonna have a problem with that. But I just love this stuff. It is so good. And I love just how, like, this is how it looks like in my hand. It's pretty small. Really convenient. Like, this fits in your makeup bag without a problem. Anywho, let me just swatch it in comparison to this one so you guys can see the difference on my hand. And I'm gonna do it on the back of my hand because as you can see, my hands are super veiny, and so it'll be perfect for you guys to see the coverage of, you know, both foundations. So I'm gonna first apply the Latent Velvet. Let me just put one drop. This foundation is also a lot more liquidy than this one. So this is what it looks like on the back of my hand. And then you just blend it in. You could apply this with your fingers too, but I don't apply my foundation with my fingers because I have really dry skin on my hands, and so I can't be washing my hands like multiple times while I'm doing my makeup. It'll like destroy my skin. So as you can see, on this side I have no foundation, on this side I have foundation. My veins on this side are a lot more visible than they are on this side, but you can still sort of see them. So as you can see, like the coverage is just like light to medium. And then on the other side, I'm not gonna apply the Latent, and I'm just gonna do a tiny little drop. So this is this side. So watch the full coverage of this. Watch this baby work. This is serious right now. What's happening right now? Look at this, it's gone. My veins are gone. My veins are gone. So this is a lot more full coverage than the Latent Velvet. So no veins, veins, no veins, a little bit of veins. So this one oxidizes a little bit. Like I said, this one doesn't. But this is kind of just a swatch test so that you guys can get a gist of what you're looking at in terms of coverage. I always recommend people to get a sample and try it at home before you invest, because Chanel, any luxury brand makeup, is a lot of money, and you want to make sure that you're getting the right color because, you know, when you buy it, like, you know, and you open it, it's just, you don't want to have to go back to the store. You just don't, you don't want that headache, you know? So just try it at home, see how it works for you, apply it with several different things. Like I said, I found streakage when I use brushes, and I definitely don't like using my hands. So my beauty blender was the best way that I could use it. Now the brush I used to apply it was like a flat foundation brush. Let me see if I have it around here. Now that I'm talking about that, is it here? Yes, it is. I applied it with my Bare Minerals Precision face brush. So it's flat angled at the top. As you can see, it's super dense brush. Streakage, guys, so no, Beauty Blender is the way to go. Anyways, that completes this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Have a nice weekend. Bye.